So many people wish they knew this before they started investing, but most importantly, to continue investing. Back in 2018, the market was on its knees. Compared to today, a very, very different market, and I'm going to explain why. People gave up, literally. When you think the most obvious element of Bitcoin going down to about $3,000, people genuinely gave up. There was no value in cryptocurrency. I myself, telling this story, was one of those people thinking, we're never going to go back up to 20k from 3k, are we? So leaving assets on exchanges such as Coinbase, Binance, KuCoin, etc., it pondered two very, very important questions. One, why didn't I invest more? And two, what the fuck is two-factor authentication? I have no idea where that's gone.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
So to me, this cycle is very different to the previous cycles. I want to kind of explain this. In the previous cycle, it was a ghost town. As I say, Bitcoin went down to $3,000. People didn't believe. Right now, in this bear market, even though Bitcoin's strong, what we are finding that the likes of BlackRock and other entities like that are actually coming in and saying, we want a piece of the pie. That's very different for obvious reasons, right? But one thing that people have forgotten about is, yes, altcoins have fallen a lot, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the top assets have not corrected nowhere near as far as last time, which kind of is an interesting point, and I think that is something that we need to be fully aware of. So let's talk about the previous cycle in terms of what some assets did. So Bitcoin, $20,000 down to $3,000. That's big. But the biggest one and the most surprising was probably Ethereum at the time. $1,400 down to $82. I was expecting it to go lower at that point too. I was defeated. And another bigger asset as well, you could probably argue, is Cardano. Roughly $1.31 roughly in the previous cycle, down to a whopping 3 cents. Some of these big assets dropped 96 and 98%. This time around, nowhere near. Now obviously me saying that's quite easy previous cycle, but this is a point in this video and I want to get this out there now. The worst thing that you want to be told in any video, in any situation you're in, is just buy more. If you've been buying Ethereum much higher or Cardano much higher or whatever much higher and someone's telling you, oh, just buy more, it's fine, you are going to be going, nah, I'm just going to quit and leave and walk away. That's what most people do. And that is obviously the wrong thing to do. But when you look back and you think about that advice and you think to yourself, well, if I was still around in 2018, 2019 when it was really bad, and if I bought just a little bit more, just a tiny bit at those low prices, my life would be very different right now. And a lot of people regret that. I get it a lot on Learning Crypto. A lot of people come back to the market and they ask three very simple questions. Where did I leave my stuff? Why didn't I buy more? And how can I retrieve it? Let's talk about some little hacks that can help you become cryptocurrency wealthy longer term by following some very, very simple rules. So let's talk about investing as far away from all-time high as possible. Now this is easier said than done, granted, obvious, I know. But if you are looking at buying a certain asset at a certain price and you are thinking, actually, it's not really good value, I could probably wait maybe, cool. But when you look at on the screen BTC, right, as you can see to my side, kind of obvious. When we're looking at the previous cycle, 20k, and then we're looking at like $6,000 for consolidation, you probably would be like, yeah, buy. Not a bad place to buy, considering, right? But when you then look and it goes even lower, you should be going, buy. Yes, please. Thank you. 3 bags full, sir. But not everyone was. Everyone was expecting to go lower, down to 1k, maybe even lower than that, right? Same situation has happened in this previous cycle too. I was talking about 15 to 12k being a really amazing area to buy. And we actually tickled that 15k level, but we've never really seen it since, right? When you are thinking, like, you got to think as well, mindset. This is a really interesting point. I'm going to talk about it. If someone said to you at 60,000, 50,000, 70,000 BTC, right? Oh, but maybe in like a year's time, you might get the opportunity to buy at 20k again, or 15k maybe. You go, nah. But altcoins, look at Polkadot, look at Ethereum, Look at Near Protocol. Look at Matic. Look at Cardano. Look at them prices, where they were to where they are now, right? Buy as far away from all-time highs possible. As I say, sounds easy. But some people were begging for these prices back when it was like really rampant in the bull market. So again, when we look at this drop, huge. And going back to that point that the market hasn't fallen as far, it hasn't. Look at BTC. We've only had, and I say only, a 77% drop. Previous cycle was about 84, 85. So, a bit better, right? Good. Now, the most obvious second point, and let me explain it in a very simple way. Understand the markets, the cycles, why things move, right? I wrote an article on the Learning Crypto website. Check out the link below. Free articles. It's going to be a newsletter soon as well, so feel free to subscribe. It's totally free. But we do have more products as well, obviously. Now, I did an article regarding all the halvings in terms of what happened. So the first halving, as you can see, $12, $42, $964. Now, the founder of Binance has just came out and said something very, very obvious. Usually, a year after halving is when the bull market starts. This data proves that, right? Again, going down to the second halving, we had 663, we had 609, 100 days after, but a year later, boom. What happened after that? Roughly a year from the halving at the point, yes, I know it was in the bear cycle, but if you think about it, that price went on to hit 20K, right? Again, for the third one, the one we probably all remember, a year later, cool. But what also happened a couple of months after that? $69,000, right? So there's proof in the pudding between the most obvious factor here, the 4-year cycle, right? We're currently in year 3, going into the halving year, and then a year after the halving is where the partying rolls, right? You get the idea, but you need to accumulate to get the fruits of that hard work. There is 3 types of people, in my opinion, in this space. There's us. I like to call us the diehards. Still here, still pumping out content, still watching videos, still looking for opportunities, still research. We're here. We're here. Cool. You got the middle of the road, people that have dabbled before, invested, but will come back when the prices will hit a certain amount. Cool. And then you've got the normies, the plebs, whatever you want to call them, the people that will buy when Bitcoin hits $60,000 again, thinking it's going to go up to the moon. Influencers will trick you with the lengthening cycle, super cycle, all that shite. And then go from there, right? So it kind of makes sense, but you need to understand the cycles. Buying the bear, selling the bull. Make sense? Good. Next one. Now, putting it all together, right? And you are holding in a bear market. This little trick will save you thousands of dollars, right? Stake it, right? There's a lot of assets that are probably going to be your core holdings in terms of certain things. So maybe Ethereum, maybe Cardano, maybe Polkadot, Avalanche, top assets that have staking protocols. A lot of them use staking protocols now for security and also governance, right? Now, obviously, everything's a bit different. If you just press the staking rewards, you can see there's quite a lot of alright assets here. Even if 2 or 3 of your assets are staking, cool. You're going to make between 4 and 12%, maybe even more than that, depending on inflation of your coin, by just holding it, right? You're not at risk because it's decentralized and it's a part of the framework of the blockchain. You are not. By the way, big disclaimer, don't do this on exchanges. That's a bit different. Do it on the native chain, right? So Ethereum, for example, on Lido, right? Polkadot on the Polkadot ecosystem. You know, Solana, if you want to stake that, whatever it wants, whatever, doesn't matter. We're not into maximalism here because it does my shit in. But if you can make 14% extra tokens, for example, over a period of a year, 18 months, and it's all free money, you put it in your portfolio as your extra monies, you press add, and then you go to 0 cost, it's going to bring your dollar cost average down, and you did nothing extra for it, you just sat and held it, right? It's kind of like dividends, it's great, but don't get attached to it, right? Don't get attached to the income because there'll be a point where you will need to unstake to sell your bag for profit because you need to sell in the bell bull market. There we go. Good. Time horizons. Let's talk about this. Now, this was a very, very hot topic in the Learning Crypto live stream on Friday. Let's talk about time horizons. It was like, wow, that's a really boring topic. Let's make it interesting. Some people are very narrow-minded with crypto because you get in at the wrong time. This little brain hack will tell you something very obvious. Now, if we highlight something, right? Comparing the returns of stocks to crypto is a difficult task, and it is. The S&P 500 is obviously 500 top stocks in the US, and annually over 10 years it grows 10.9%, which is cool, right? Now, quantifying this a little bit is harder, as I say, because sometimes Bitcoin will go vroom, and then it will go vroom. You're like, oh. But when you average it out over a period of time, it actually works out much better. So the average, you can see comparing these figures, Bitcoin 195%, obviously Ethereum 663%, huge. The market will return you more if you are doing the things above. Let's just talk about them. The things I've just mentioned, if you start to combine that and you are looking at the cycle side of it and you're looking at buying as far away from all-time high while staking, you are probably going to make more money than what you would by putting $500 a month into the S&P 500 religiously, right? Even though there's more probability of you losing money in the crypto because of the way it is. But if you start to understand the game and do things correctly with the right manners, you may well make much more, which is what I've done in the past. Proof is in the pudding, obviously. I've part of my third cycle now. It kind of is obvious to say that because when you look at altcoins and how much they run, but you've also got to look at the bad side of it in terms of a bear market, how far they fall. So don't get caught being married to the bag. Just remember to buy low and sell high. Some people, and I will not try and point anyone out, sorry, I'm joking, you will get married to it and you will expect more. Even though, let's talk about it, even though you've made 6 figures, 7 figures maybe for some people, and I've seen a lot of people do that, and you want more. If you've invested, say, 4 or 5 figures into the crypto market over a period of time and you're on 6, 7 figures, or even like high 6 figures, or even, God, if like some of the assets that I made a lot of money on in the previous cycle, you just got to think to yourself, wow, I'm never going to get that in employment. Wow, I'm never going to get that in the stock market. Wow, that's crazy numbers. If you just take a little bit of a step back and go, I've made that in X amount of years, you will probably sell your bag pretty damn quickly because it can be life-changing. If you've got the cash and the wealth, you can do more things in life. You can invest in other things. You've got more opportunities to make even more money, right? As daft as it sounds. And the final thing I want to talk about is something that is often overlooked. It isn't just Discord. It's being a part of a community. It doesn't have to be mine. It could be someone else's. It could be something that you really like to do and become better because you're in something, right? Now, I have a Discord for my Patreon and Learning Crypto. They're both different things, right? But they're very, very alike in terms of how they can motivate people, how they can encourage people to do better, pick you up on the down days, get you excited about certain things, but also the learning aspect and the helping aspect. It's a bit of a lonely game being an investor on your own, in my opinion. This is why I started building communities. I've recently just put a tweet out saying, I'm not looking for views, I'm looking for a community. I want to build this community on the screen, my Learning Crypto community, because I want to make it easier for everyone to hopefully, over time, grow wealth without worrying too much about the awkwardness and the pain in the ass stuff and the hard learning curve elements, because the people in my communities actually help teach. It's great. Like, they've done it before, they've learned from me or others, and they can then pass that wisdom on to new members, taking the load off me as well, which is massive, because let's be honest here, I don't know every single chain. I don't know every single protocol. I don't know what's that was doing, what's most popular these days all the time. I don't. I have a very, very busy, hectic life. And it does help. I think that this one is probably the most underrated. Do it as a community and you will get better. If you're all investing at the right times, if you're all staking the right things on the right safe protocols, if you're all looking out for each other's backs, thinking, wow, this is a level that we should maybe be looking at potentially offloading some profits in the future maybe, it will help you all grow. So there we go. I'm done talking now. If you would like to watch more of my content, check out the video on the screen. And also, it'd be really nice if you subscribe to this channel. If you want more of this content, press the bell button, and I'll see you soon, probably for a live stream.